Okay, I'm just going to do a quick video here going over the quiz for you guys. So number one, Joe's traveling I-90 at a constant speed, 3 hours of traveling, he's 270. So after 3 hours, 375, right? And then after 5 hours, 415. So we're looking at the slope, where this is the x value, and this is the y value, right? So not necessarily, we don't know where he started exactly, not necessarily Ellensburg. Okay, so the difference is going to be the slope, the speed he's traveling, is going to be the miles traveled, which is 415 minus 375, over the time that it took him to travel there. Okay, so that's going to be 140 over 2, which is 70 miles per hour. Okay. So the function here, right, equation for his distance d as a function of the number of hours. Okay, so 275 miles away from Ellensburg. So he's going, his distance is equal to 70 times t times the variable, whatever x, y, t, whatever h, and plus some constant c, right? And that's the distance that he started at. So where did he start? Well, it took him 3 hours. 3 hours at 70 miles an hour is 210 miles. And at 3 hours, at the point 3, comma 275, sorry, that's the actual point. He's, right, so 3 hours, actually that's not right, sorry, 375, right? Should be a 2. So correct that. But the number is right. So I screwed up, but it should still be 70. Sorry about that. And in 3 hours at 70 miles an hour, he'd go 210, right? So his 0, going from 0 hours, wherever he started, to 3 hours, he would have traveled 210 miles, right? But he's 275, so the difference, the point that he started at, 275 minus the 210, right, is 65. So that's the point that he started at, right? Okay. So you can plug that in here. 275 equals 70 times 3 plus the point that he started at, right? Plug that in, solve for C, okay? So that's what I did, C is 65. So that's the equation that marks his distance from Ellensburg. So, you know, he started in, what, kind of Moses Lake area, I guess, right? Or, what's 65? That's like Snoqualmie Pass. So that's that. Now, what's his difference after 7.5 hours? Again, constant speed, no stopping. So then you're just going to plug 7.5 in for T. So 70 times 7.5 is 495, 25 plus 65 is 590, right? I think it should be 590. So again, get a calculator, make sure 490 plus 35 is 525, plus 65 is 590. Yes, so that should be part B. Okay, so you got your equation, then just plug in a t, and you'll spit out a distance, right? Okay, so moving on. Write an equation for the line perpendicular to this and through the point. So here you've got y equals 3x plus 12 and a point 6, negative 3. And so you've got your point, and here I've got a slope, but I need the perpendicular. So this is m, so 1 over, a negative 1 over m is my perpendicular slope, right? So that's going to be negative 1 over 3. And so I'm going to go y minus y1, so negative 3, equals m, which is negative 1/3, times x minus 6, or x1. Right, so now I'm going to go ahead and simplify. y equals, so this negative is plus. Okay. So I'm gonna subtract 3 from both sides. And I'm going to go ahead and distribute this out. So I'm gonna get negative 1 over 3x. And then that's gonna be minus a minus, so that's plus. So that's gonna be plus 2. So 6 over 3 is 2. So that's plus 2 minus 3 is minus 1. So that should be the answer there, right? Okay. So it should be minus 1. Okay, now we got the equation of a circle and a point on the circle. Write the equation of the circle with center and a point. So now we need to find the radius. Okay? So the equation of the circle, remember, is y minus h on b squared plus, sorry, x plus y minus k squared is r squared. So I need to find r. So I know my equation is going to be y minus 2, not y, x minus 2 squared plus y minus, no, center. Sorry, point, that's wrong value. X is negative 3, so it should be y plus 3. There we go. X plus 3 squared plus y minus a negative 3, so plus 3. And that's going to be equal. So now I need to find r. Well, r is going to be the distance formula, and that's the square root of, that's x2 minus x1. Right? So it's the distance. So think of here I've got negative 3 comma negative 3. And I've got another point 2 comma 4. I want to find the distance here. So I need to find the vertical distance, 4 minus a negative 3, 4 minus a negative 3. That's the vertical distance. So this is y, change in y. This is the x value, the change in x. From here to here is the change in y, right? So the distance, the vertical distance here. And then I need the horizontal distance, which is going to be 2 minus a negative 3. So 2 minus a negative 3, right? So this is just Pythagoras. X squared plus y squared is r squared. And so I need to find the distance here, which is the 5 minus, so it goes 5 to 0 is 5, and then from 0 to negative 3 is another 3, so that should be 8. 4, sorry, 4. Can't even read my own writing. 4. So it should be negative 7. Sorry. 4 minus a negative 3 is 7. So r is going to be the square root of 5. 2 plus 3 is 5 squared is 25. And then 4 plus 3 is 7 squared is 49. Okay? So r equals radical 74. But r squared is root 74 squared. So it should be this equals 74. Okay? All right. Good on that, I think? All right. Next one. Cost, revenue, profit. I've got a surveillance company. They buy, so this is called a fixed cost, $72,000, okay? And they've got a variable cost, and that's gonna be the $17.75 an hour, $15.75 plus 20. It's gonna be $35.75. So they spend $35.75 an hour while working, right? So the cost of running my surveillance company, the cost is going to be the total cost, which is the straight fixed cost plus the variable. And so that's going to be 72,000 plus 35 T per hour, X, whatever you want to call the variable, right? So that means if I don't produce anything ever, I just have my straight $72,000, right? And then every hour that I am running surveillance, I'm adding $35.75 each hour, right? So $71.50 for 2 hours, on and on, right? So now, revenue is charging $100 an hour. Total revenue, that's my total cost function. Total revenue is just the $100 I charge times the number of hours that I produce, okay? Number of hours that I'm charging them. Now I want to use the formula to write an equation for profit. So profit is just this TR minus that TC, which is going to be, so it's going to be 100 minus the sum of that, which is 35.75 plus 72,000, right? And so if I simplify, this is 100T minus 35.75T is going to be 60. So that's going to be 64.25T minus 72,123. Okay. So I have my fixed cost here, and every hour that I'm producing something, I'm going to be positive $64.25. So now, what's my break even? How many hours are required to break even? That's when this is 0. Okay, so now plus 72,123. I get 72,123 equals 64.25. T, divide both sides by 64.25. 425, and I should get 1,120.6, I think. Now, if you're looking for a whole number, you want to round up, because at 1,120 hours, I still technically have a loss, right? My number would be negative, and it wouldn't be until 1121 that I am actually profitable, right? So that's the closest thing I am to breaking even. So I'd have to run at, so if we're charging by the hour, at 11:20, I'm still losing money. And it's not until 11:21 that I actually have broken even. Okay, so now let me do the harder, oh shoot, I don't have it on here. Let me say for number 5, the baseball hit should be 3 feet above ground. I made note of that. All you're doing here, you're knowing the feet per second and the angle. That just gives you the equation, right? Those are extra information you don't need. And so all you're going to do is you're going to plug in the distance from X, 320, and you're going to get a negative number. What that means is I hit the ball here, the ball travels like this, the fence is here, right? By the time it reached the fence, it's, 90 feet below the fence, whatever. So this clearly, it would land in the field before it hits the fence, so it would clearly not clear the fence, right? This is a function of distance from the, where it is, how high it is at various distances away from home plate. So that's a no. Okay, let me do the circle one, but to do that one, I actually need to get the exact question, which I don't have on me. So I would posit, right? It's going to be a problem. So I'm just going to put you guys on suspense there. And I'm going to pull it up here, okay? So the idea here, though, is when you're trying to find the equation, I've got a circle, and I've got a center, and I've got some point on the circle, right? And so I have a line going from the center to that point, and a line tangent to that curve is going to strike this line at a perpendicular angle. So I need to find M And then the slope of that line would be -1 over m. This is the slope of the radius at that point. This would be -1 over that, right? So the center becomes, so this slope is going to be the change in y over the change in x, right? So it's going to be the y value minus the y value over the x value minus the x value. And that's going to give me the slope there, okay? So let me pull that up really quick. Hopefully I can pull it up quick. Assignments. Which one? There we go. Pull up the preview. And my point is going to be -1, -2, and the circle is the origin. So -1, -2. Okay. So this point here, -1, -2. And this is 0, 0. So my slope is going to be right, well actually, -1, -2 is actually over here, right? Not that that matters a whole lot, but same idea, okay? Everything else is the same, it's just the location on the circle is different. So -1, -2, so I'm going to go y of the slope of this line is positive, so it's going to be 0 minus the y value of -2 over 0 minus -1. It's going to be 2 over 1, just 2, right? So 2. Okay, that's that. Now this is -1 over that. All right, so that's my new slope, okay? So I've got my slope, now I got my slope, my point slope form, which is y minus y1, which is a -2, equals slope, -1 over 2 times x minus the -1. So that's going to be y, I'm going to add 2, sorry, this is plus 2, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. This is x plus 1, so I'm going to get -1 over 2x, and then this is 1, so -1/2 minus 2, right? So it should be -3 over 2. That should be your answer. Okay. So doing that really quickly there. What did I do? Oh, you know what? I totally screwed that up. I'm just in a hurry, that's why. So you got to get your common denominator, right? So it should be -4 over 2, so it should be 5. Sorry, I'm really flying through this, but you should notice that, yeah, that was not an option. So you just got to get your common denominator there, obviously, right? This is 1/2 minus 2, which is 4 over 2. So you have to get them into the same denominator. So -1 minus 4 is -5, so it should be -5 over 2. And yeah, that looks so much better. So that means this is going to be -5 over 2. Slope is pretty, it's more like that. That's what it would actually look like. Okay, and if you guys have any questions on that, let me know. But I will upload this to YouTube, so smash that like button, subscribe, you know, all that stuff. Share. No, you don't have to do any of that, but do watch.